Number 1, a group for women experiencing anxiety has been meeting for 4 weeks. In the session, one of the group members mentioned she got frustrated with so frustrated with her son that she hit him with a belt. The group dynamic is altered. Participation is minimal after her disclosure. The other group members start to single out and ridicule the group member and ask for her removal. How does the social worker best respond to the situation? A, ask the group to come to a consensus on whether or not the group member should be removed. B, tell the group members they must stop singling out the group member or the group session will end early. C, acknowledge the dynamic shift and tell the group member you can speak further with her regarding the incident after the group. D, ask the woman to leave the room while the other group members have a discussion on how to proceed. What do? Group members being singled out, they're saying, we want you to leave the group. We don't like this disclosure. What do you do? What's our best response? So we've been meeting for 4 weeks, so it's not like it's the first time this group is meeting. This group member says she hit her son with a belt, so there's some sort of disclosure of something going on here. Then the group is singling her out and asking her to be removed. What do? Remember, our client here is the entire group, all the group members. So what are we choosing and why? I'm going to start doing process of elimination. So I'm going to start ruling stuff out. Okay. What would I rule out? Ask the group to come to a consensus on whether or not the group member should be removed. Is that appropriate? No. Because what does that do? That's not actually fair to the client that made this disclosure, right? It's shaming her. It's saying, we don't like this, so you're kicked out, right? Like, that's not great. So A is out. Rule out D. Ask the woman to leave the room while they have a discussion on how to proceed. What's wrong with that? Singling her out, right? If I was asked to leave a group, because if this happened, I probably would leave out of the building and never come back, right? So that's also not treating all group members with equal power in the group, right? So D is out. Do we just end the session early? You're singling her out, we're going to end. That's not really appropriate either, because does that actually get to any solution? No, right? The correct answer here, you guys were on the right track, is C. Acknowledge the dynamic shift. So I would say, I can see that this is a very tense topic, or this has brought up a lot of feelings. And then I would ask that group member, like, let's connect after group, because there has been a disclosure and I need to get more information. And if I do need to report to CPS, I probably need to have a discussion with that. This would be a mandated report. So people are like, do you report for this? I would say, given the information, 99% of states, if there is an object and you're hitting a child with it, it's a report. But I would want to process that disclosure outside of the group. It's not appropriate to process it in the group. Does that make sense? This could even be, let's call together, right? Thank you for sharing this. I have to report. Would you like to make the report with me? Okay, number 2. Which of the following assumptions is, and I will say, some people say, do you have to report? When you make a mandated report, do you have to tell the client? No, there's no law, there's no mandate. That's personal preference. Some agencies make you make the person aware, some don't. But for test purposes, there's no mandate that you have to tell the person that you're reporting. If I was making a report, I don't have to call the parent and say I reported you to CPS, because we could be putting ourselves in danger, right? If we have a suspicion, we report. People can even make anonymous reports, just FYI. Okay, number 2. Which of the following assumptions is not accepted by a social worker engaged in family treatment? So here, there's going to be 3 assumptions that are a yes for family treatment and 1 assumption that's a no. A, people strive for a sense of relatedness and closeness with family members. Treating the enabler will help the rest of the family function better function. Family members display traits based on the behaviors and reactions of family members. D, boundaries can be a way for individuals to protect family differences while also maintaining identity. 3 of these are assumptions of family work. 1 is not. What is the correct answer and why? I'm going to go through and say, is this true? If it's true, it's not the correct answer. Do you remember family is whoever people determine who their family is? Is it generally accepted that in family work, they're there because they want to have a sense of relatedness or closeness? Yes. Okay. They wouldn't, unless they're mandated, right? But we're going to say that is generally an assumption. Do boundaries create a way for individuals to protect differences while also maintaining identity? Yes. Healthy boundaries are a good thing. That's generally what people are striving for. That's generally assumption. Okay. Do family members display traits based on behaviors and reactions? Yes, that's called like being in a family, right? Like you react to people. What's wrong with B? Treating the enabler will help the rest of the family function better. Is singling out one family member always the correct assumption of family treatment, right? No. So if we just treated one person, we wouldn't be a very good family therapist, right? We wouldn't be doing good family therapy. So B is not an assumption because we don't want to ever single out one member. We want to know why that person's enabling, what's going on, what are the dynamics. Does that make sense? You don't want to sing. This would be like individual client-centered work. This is not family approach. Does that make sense? Okay. Last question. You are conducting a family therapy session with a blended family. The youngest family member tells the social worker, I really need to tell you something, but immediately another family member says, don't talk about it. The social worker attempts to assist family members in more open discussions unsuccessfully. To increase open communication, what should the social worker do next? A, clarify the initial symptoms presented by the family. B, talk with the youngest family member individually to assess for safety. C, use questioning techniques that will engage all family members in the discussion. Or D, remind the family that progress will not be made if mutual respect is not displayed. What do we think and why? We're trying to increase communication here. But they're trying to like, don't talk about that. No, like we don't talk about that here. What would we do and why? What's our next best step? And remember, the goal is to improve communication. By the way, this does happen. You've probably been in a session where they're like, no, don't bring that up. Don't talk about it. Okay. Let's process of elimination. Remember, the family is the unit, the family is the client. I'm not going to just say, I can't assume that there's a safety risk given the information that we had. That would be an assumption, right? All he said is, I want to tell you something, and the parent said, don't talk about it. That could be a trillion different things, right? So we're not going to make any assumption there. B is out. Remind the family that progress will not be made if mutual respect is not displayed. Is there, like, does that actually increase communication? Or help us solve this issue right now that they're not really openly communicating? No. A, clarify the initial symptoms presented by the family. That doesn't also address this, that we're trying to improve communication. They're probably there because they need to improve communication. So the correct answer here is C, use questioning techniques that will engage all family members in the discussion. There's a variety of ways to do that. How might you do that in this case? Kid says, I want to tell you something, and parent says, don't talk about it. And they're not really saying why they said that. What is a question you could ask? You could say, like, how did it feel that they told you not to talk about it? And then process that. I see that you are like not wanting to share that with me. You know, what came up for you? Like, there's so many things you could do to process this, but you want to really engage all the family members to, someone said, is C leading though? A questioning technique does not need to be like I don't even actually need to know what this is that the family doesn't want to talk about it, but I'm trying to process the dynamics. So I might say, what did it feel like to when mom told you not to talk about it, right? Mom, what did it, you know, what did it feel like to have this client really want to tell me something that you didn't want me to know about, right? So it's not necessarily leading to get the information. It could be leading to process the dynamics more. Does